everyone, it's Sammy here. This is the first video I've ever done by myself, so fingers crossed. I'm a little bit of a tech virgin, so bear with. My son has set the camera up for me. I have done videos for the studio before, but they're all set up with all their cameras, and all I have to do is just sit there. They tell me exactly where to sit. So we've had quite a morning arranging my living room. Welcome to my living room. The sofa's usually here, but we've had a little rearranging, and yeah, finally we're ready to do a practice. So good morning everybody. We're going to start with 5 minutes of mindfulness. So what you need to do is you need to find a comfortable seat. You're at home, so you can do what you like. You can sit anywhere you like. You could use, if you have trouble sitting upright, even just for 5 minutes, you can use a wall. You can maybe pop your bolster against it like that, and sit cross-legged and use the bolster to try and keep your lower back upright. You can try sitting like I do, kneeling, either with your knees together or with your knees apart. There are many options. It's finding what works for your body. And if all else fails, lie down and have your 5 minutes of mindfulness lying down. So, welcome. Let's begin. Finding your comfortable seat, or finding any comfortable position. Closing the eyes if you can, or if you prefer, you can lower your gaze to a point on the floor, maybe a couple of feet in front of you. So you start to turn inward. And then we follow the sound to the very, very end, until it dissolves into nothing. And then we bring all of our awareness to our breath. You can start by following the air as it comes in through the nostrils, passes over the throat and starts to fill the lungs. And then following that pathway all the way back over the throat, out through the nostrils. Just following that pathway of breath in through the nose, over the throat, expanding the ribs. Ribs contract, the air passes back out over the throat through the nostrils. And then bring your awareness deeper into the body, into the center. And start to notice how your belly softly rises on the inhale, softly falls back on the exhale. Just following that wave-like motion that the breath makes, rising and falling. No need to change the breath in any way. We're just simply paying attention. And then we expand our awareness to the whole body, feeling the feet on the floor, the position of your legs, the angle of your knees, your sitting bones upon your seat, the spine rising tall from your seat, all the way up through the back of the head, crown of the head, and becoming aware of the little soft spot at the top of your head that you had as a baby, the fontanelle. And then allowing everything to be soft down the front. Allow the eyes and the face to be soft. Shoulders softening, elbows. Awareness of the hands, where they're placed. Points of contact. And back to the rise and fall of the breath. As though the whole body was breathing. Awareness of the breath, awareness of the whole body, sat here in this position. Breathing. So blinking the eyes open, taking a moment to become aware of your surroundings. And just taking note of how you feel after 5 minutes of mindfulness. "5 minutes of mindfulness," they have done lots of tests of people in MRI scans meditating, and they have discovered that 5 minutes of mindfulness every single day, 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of mindfulness, so just what we've just done, will shrink part of your brain. The part of your brain called your amygdala, that is like your worry centre. In fact, some people call it the worry centre. it's part of your brain, part of the primitive brain that was there to keep you safe when we lived in the times of saber-toothed tigers and living in caves, etc. But nowadays our stress response, our fight or flight response, often kicks off just when we have maybe a little confrontation at work or something like that, and then our fight or flight kicks in, we get very stressed, and before you know it you're breathing very fast and your survival mode kicks in of what's going to happen, where's the danger. So 5 minutes of mindfulness will help to shrink the part of your brain that you don't need as much anymore. It will stop all the negative, not all the negative, but it will stop some of the negative thoughts coming through. So let's start on our backs. Let's start by drawing the feet in towards the bottom. Find a nice comfortable position for the back. Maybe lifting the hips and letting the back settle a little bit first. Lift the head, lift the shoulders, make sure everything's comfortable and nothing is caught. And then we're going to draw both knees in. And we're going to just have a little sway here. A little sway side to side. And then maybe a circle with the knees. You feel the sacrum being massaged into the mat. Change direction. And then draw the knees wider apart, closer towards the armpits, and circle both ankles. Circling one way. Nice, slow, full movement, circling the other way. Being mindful all the time of the breath and the body and that yogic connection. Breath, body, mind. Bring the knees together. Take the left foot onto the mat. Keep hold of the right knee. Draw the right knee even closer in towards the armpit there. Give it a little squeeze in. And then take your right foot over to your left thigh. Now, depending on where you place that, again, it's your body. Find the right position where it feels right, and then giving a little bit of encouragement of this knee out to the right here. Not pushing, just a little gentle encouragement. Opening into that hip. And then arms out to the side. We'll have a little sway again here. Feels a little bit different. And then coming into stillness, lift the left foot off the mat. Start drawing the left knee towards you, and you should feel a stretch coming down the right thigh and into the right hip here. We don't want any pain in the joints. No pain in the ankle joint, knee joint or hip. So it's good to be mindful during your practice. Be in your body, experiencing the sensation as it comes. When you feel the stretch, you're there. So you then release, and we take that foot down to the mat and we draw the left knee in, squeeze the left knee towards the left shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, let everything else soften. Don't allow this right shoulder to become your right earring. And then taking that left foot onto the right thigh, and again finding along here where it is that you want that to be. And I always like to breathe in as I come into it, and as I relax into it I breathe out, and that exhale has a natural relaxing quality to it. And again, arms out to the side, have a little sway. You can start off small to check in how the body feels. You might even be able to get your left foot all the way down towards the floor, and then back left knee over to the other side, down to the floor. So remember, it's your body, it's your yoga. You can go as far as your body allows, basically. So, left foot still on the right thigh, we lift the right foot off the mat, we draw the right knee in towards the body, and you should feel that stretch in the hip now. You can actually go further in this posture. You can either put the hands through onto the thighs like so, and the head still stays on the mat, or you can lift the head and have a little bit of core work at the same time. You might even be able to get your hands onto your knees. You can activate this leg by drawing your toes in, or you can keep it soft and go for more of a hip joint stretch, and then release. Both feet on the mat, arms by the side, and we're just going to do a few rolling bridges. So inhale, we lift the hips, we push into the feet, we keep the elbows pressing into the mat. Exhale, we roll the spine back onto the mat. So start off slow and easy, and then working towards your physical edge. Breathing in to come up. You can even hold it if you want, and just breathe here for a few breaths, or you can keep rolling up and down. If you're holding here, be mindful that the knees don't collapse out. So imagine you're squeezing a ball between your thighs, a beach ball or maybe something smaller. And then coming down, all the way down. Draw the knees in, have a little sway again. And then we're going to breathe in, nice big breath in. As you breathe out, lift the head towards the knees, squeeze everything together. Okay, we have a choice at this point. You can either hinge your way up, or you can roll onto a side to come up. If you've got any lower back issues, any disc problems, it may be better for you to roll onto a side, use the hands to come all the way up. Or you can try the hinge movement. So the important thing with the hinge movement is you bring the hands flat, the palms down, and the thumbs, see how my thumbs are out? Thumbs are under my back. And then I lift the head as well. This helps to protect the lower back. If you keep your head down and try and do it, it's not very good for your back. So lift your head, protect your lower back, engage your core. And then the feet come down, but not too low. Breathe back in to bring them up, and as you breathe out, hinge the whole body up. And we're going to come round onto all fours. For a moment, I use a blanket now because my knees have been problematic. I am 50, and so I have started to be a little bit kinder to my body and pad my knees out. So you want your hands under your shoulders, nice wide fingers, make a good base. Knees under your hips. And then as you breathe in, the movement starts at your tailbone, so the bottom of your spine. So as you breathe in, the tailbone lifts, the belly sinks, and you lift the chin. And as you breathe out, the tailbone drops, the belly lifts in towards the spine, and you bring your chin through, looking to either your feet, your knees, or your belly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, let the movement roll up the spine, through to the head. Breathe out, let the movement come back up down the spine. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, the back arches, the belly dips, the elbows turn in towards each other. Breathe out, the belly button lifts in towards the spine, and we drop the head. That's my lovely dog over there breathing. So we do a few of those, really good to maintain mobility of the spine. And then you can either widen your knees or keep your knees together. We come back into child's pose. You can take the arms out in front to bring the head down onto the floor, or some people prefer the hands under the head. Or knees together, arms behind, forehead down. And if none of those work for you, you can try puppy pose, where the hips stay up so you're not squashing your knees or your feet. But this doesn't really round through the back unless you lift the belly in towards the spine. So watch out for doing that where the spine arches again, because really when we're going for child's pose, what you're looking for is a nice soft rounding of the back. Okay, and then you can come back, you can do a few more of those. Curling cats. And what I like to do at this point is a balancing cat, so to strengthen the spine. So we've done mobility, flexibility, let's make the spine strong too. So right foot, right toes tuck under, and you pushing through the right heel and lifting the right knee up towards the ceiling, and then you bring that foot up off the mat. You can point, you can flex, you can do a bit of both, or just stay in one. Now if you feel like you've got your balance, you start to bring the weight more into the right hand, and you start to lift the left hand up and forward, reaching with the left hand, reaching back with the right foot, and then release, and we come to the other side. So left toes tuck under, we push back through the left heel, feel the left hamstring and calf engage, and then we lift that foot completely up, point, flex, do whatever you like there. It's good to engage the core here, so think about lifting the belly button in towards the spine before you reach forward. And release. You can come back into another child's pose here. Remember, it's your practice, so at any point if it becomes too much for you, you can either come into child's pose or come onto your back and have a little knees in hug, have a sway, have a circle, and then rejoin at any time you like. Okay, so back to on all fours. We tuck the toes behind, we lift the feet, and we come into downward dog. Now I've just done that from cat, which is quite a short downward dog. You might feel like you can actually get your heels down, and that's okay when you first start. Little by little, what you want to do is you want to work your feet a little bit further back. So maybe to there. Push back, push away from the hands. Try and keep the hips high. Have a little pedal just to let the hamstrings know you're wanting them to stretch out. They're long muscles, they take quite a while. And whenever your wrists, whenever it feels too much, remember you can come down, have a little child's pose, or you can come onto your knees for a little bit. If this doesn't work for you, grab something to sit on or stay on in high knees. So tuck your toes behind, or you can have your feet flat. And at this point you can, if your wrists are really sore, you can start to just ease them out. I call this beak. So you make a little beak. And you just roll your wrists out. And I'm keeping my elbows in nice and tight towards my body. So it's my wrists that I'm engaging, not everything else. Okay, just your wrists. You can even try a little bit of soft shaking off. Clasp the hands together, do a little bit of a roller coaster. Going one way, going the other way. Some of these wrists and shoulder stretches are really nice. The other one that I really like is opening up and then bringing one arm above the other. So I've got my left arm under my right arm. My left hand comes up, and that might be enough for you. You could probably already maybe feel a stretch coming into the side of this shoulder, or you can try to bring the right hand up too, turn the hands and see if they'll meet into a little Garuda arms, eagle arms. You can stay here, or you can try lifting the elbows in front of the face. And I like to, when I come out of this, I come out really softly, slowly. I bring my hands to my shoulders first, and then all the way back out. Go for the other side. This time the left arm's on top, elbow to elbow if you can. Right hand up, give it a wave. That might be enough for you, or you can see if this hand is going to meet. Release the hands. Now, you see, if you just release the hands here straight out, sometimes it can just jar the joints a little bit. So that's why I like to come to the shoulders first and then all the way out. This is another good one here too. Bring the hands together, clasp the hands together. Keep the hands next to the lower spine. See if you can make a little circle one way and circle the other way. And then you can take the hands straight out behind you till again you feel the stretch. Always bring the hands back to release them. Don't release them out there, because again you could jar something out of place. Bring the hands back, then softly release. Let's come back down onto all fours. Tuck the toes behind. So I'm going to go for a slightly longer downward dog. Press away from the hands Keep the hips high, engage the core and breathe. And then do what you like. If you want to pedal, pedal. The other one I like to do is I like to lift one leg and put my toes behind my other foot. See if the heel will come down. Try it on the other foot. So if I give myself something to work with here, because I can put my heel down there, take my foot a bit further back, I can't get my heel down yet. Lift, pop it on there, push away from the hands. Good. So lots of different things to try. You can try having your downward dog wider, if you like. Okay, let's start walking the feet into the hands, or the hands into the feet, either way. Take a soft bend if you need to. And actually, as you bring the hands towards the feet, definitely take a soft bend in the knees. So what you want to do here is you just want to dangle the upper body down towards the floor. Let gravity help you release the spine. So if you have straight legs here, the stretch is going to come more into the legs. If you have bent legs, the stretch comes more into the spine. If you find that your hands are trailing, what you can do is you can bring your hands to elbows. And just bend one knee and the other. Slowly release. We get a good decompression of the spine here with gravity working its way down through the vertebrae. Or you can just sway, do whatever you like. Some people like to just bounce here like this. Okay, bend the knees even further. Imagine there's a chair here behind you that you're going to sit on. And when you've reached your limit, you breathe in and you start to push up from the feet. And you start to lift the vertebrae one by one until you're standing. Okay. Let's do some mindful salutations. Feet can be together or apart. Find your standing posture. Just stand and become aware of your breath again. Take your mind into your feet. Start rooting down through the feet. Bring the energy up through the legs, awareness up through the legs. Maybe drawing the belly button in slightly so you're tucking the tailbone through, allowing the back to lengthen. Roll the shoulders down the back. Tuck the chin in slightly, so we don't want it out like this. We want it tucked in slightly to lengthen the back of the head. Think of a cord attached here to the very tip, crown of your head. And imagine that lifting, just gently encouraging you up so the spine is growing taller. And we have this general sense of uplifting through the spine and the back of the body. Breathe in, take the arms out to the side, look up to the thumbs, breathe out, send the hips back. Connecting either with your calves, hands on the calves, or if you can, bring the hands onto the mat, or if you prefer, you can bend the knees and bring the hands onto the mat. So all those options, either here, straight legs, Here, straight legs. Here, bent legs. Okay. Breathe in, lift the chest. Breathe out, let the head come down towards the floor. Breathe in to come all the way up to counteract any dizziness. Breathe out, hands to the heart space. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathing in to come all the way up, either strong in the legs or bending the knees. Breathe out, hands to the heart space. Breathe in, lifting the hands, but also lifting the ribs. Breathing out. Connecting, legs or mat. Breathe in, lift the belly in towards the spine. Breathe out. Breathe in to come all the way up. Hands to the heart space as you breathe out. Okay, let's do our tree balance. So, all of the weight into the left foot. Lift the right heel. Take the right knee out to the side. And make sure you're focusing on one spot, either lowering your gaze to a point on the floor or looking straight ahead. Lifting whenever you feel right to either here below the knee or above the knee. If you're anywhere near the knee, just make sure you're not pressing the foot into the knee joint. Breathe, smile. Don't worry if you're having a wobble. We all have wobbly days. And when you wobble, you come straight back in. It's really good for the ego. You don't care when you're little whether you fall over or not. It's just something we become more self-conscious of as adults. Tall tree. Lift the arms up, our elbows out to the side. Whoop. And open those branches. Hands to the waist. Knee to the front. Lift, 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 lift. Woo! Well done. Let's try the other side. Balancing is good fun. If you let go of, oh, I need to look like this, I need to look like a yogi, I need to look like I'm so still and, oh, look at me. Let go of all that. Don't worry about it. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at you. Everyone's worrying about their own stuff. So, weighing to the right, knee out, lifting to here. Some people actually grab their foot and lift it right up into the top, but I prefer to do it here. So again, it's finding what works for you. Breathe, focus, and then up into tall tree, elbows out to the sides, nice and wide. Don't worry if your tree gets a little bit blown about. Open the branches. Let the shoulders drop as you open those branches. Hands to the waist, knee to the front. Lift the foot. Whoop. And don't fall over. Woo! Okay, well done. Let's do a couple of warriors, and then we'll come down to our seated postures. So, step your right foot back, left foot stays forward, and you can ease your foot out to the side of your mat for a more stable position. You want your hips to the front. Bend your front knee, and just make sure it's not collapsing in, because that's not very good for the knee joint. You want to be able to see your big toe on that side. You don't want your knee collapsing in. Hips to the front. Try and keep the back outer edge of that foot in contact with the mat. Don't let that knee collapse in either. Okay, and then hips sink down into the middle, and you can have your hands here, or here, or here, or all the way up. I quite like Kali Mudra. Clasp my hands together and my first fingers pointing up. Release, push up, straighten that front leg, arms out to the side. We need a longer stance for this, warrior two. So heel toe that back leg further down the mat. Bend your front knee again. It's straight down the middle. Some people kind of go like this in warrior two. We're not coming over the front, we're going straight down the middle. This front knee bends, the outer edge stays in contact with the mat. You're opening the hips out to the side, and then the arms come in too. Nice, strong. Imagine somebody's pulling your arms apart. And sinking the hips down into the middle. Maybe turning the head to one side. Maybe turning the head to the other side. And then releasing. Bringing the hands around to the front. Just hop that back foot in. Straighten both legs for a moment. Right arm's coming up, left arm's going, hooking around behind my waist. Right arm comes up, I'm looking at my palm. Thumb and forefinger come together, chin mudra, and you start to follow the hand as it trails back. So we're having a little bit of a back bend until you find your edge, and then you release all the way back up. For reverse warrior, then we're going to come into warrior three, a balance. So I've just worked my foot further into the middle because that's how I like it. I bend my front knee, my arms are coming out to the side, or you can have, again, in front, Kali Mudra, whichever works for you. Warrior three, nice and steady, and then stepping that back foot down, and we step back up to the front. So the left foot goes back this time. Again, you can take this foot wider out to the edge of your mat so that your hips are to the front. Bend that front knee, check that it's not collapsing in. Warrior one. Hips sinking down. Again, anywhere you want with your arms. Straighten that front leg, release out. Step this foot back, wider stance, opening the hips out to the side. Bending this front knee, hips sink down into the middle. Releasing the arms out to the side. Strong. Warrior two, strong through the arms, strong through the legs. Turning the head. And then arms swing back round to the front. We hop that back foot in a little bit. I like to do reverse warrior with straight legs. Some people do it with the front leg bent, but this is my version. Right arm behind, left palm shoots up, thumb and forefinger together, chin mudra. Start to follow the arc of the hand into a back bend. And releasing, breathing in as you're coming up. Arms out to the side, bend that front knee. Transfer the weight into the right foot as you start to lift the left foot off the mat. Release that foot back down. And then step both feet back together at the start. Excellent. One last thing to do. We will do wide forward bend before we go down into our seated postures. So feet nice and wide as you want them, but you want some control, so don't go too wide. Some people have their toes out, and some people have their toes more in. It will be to do with your hips, but I like to do wide forward bend with my feet more or less straight forward, and sometimes my heels come right out to the side. So we start nice and tall. Think about lengthening first, breathing in, and as you breathe out, tip the hips. Might be easier actually if you see me this way. Breathing in, breathing out, tip the hips. So nice straight back. We don't want to be tipping here and going like this. If you are like that, try bending your knees and taking your feet out and doing more of a squat stretch. Okay, but at the moment, we breathe in, we breathe out, we lower our body down. We might be able to bring our hands down onto the mat nice and wide. Breathe in, breathe out, release. And if you get there and you think, actually I could go a little bit wider, just walk your feet out a little bit more. Take that nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, try to work your head down towards the mat. Breathe in. You can keep doing that, breathing in and breathing out and going up and down. Or you can try working your feet a little bit closer in, bending the knees and coming into this high squat. And you can sway from side to side a little bit. Now that might be enough for you. So at this point you can just come and sit down on your mat. But if you can, what you can do is you can put your hands down, work your feet in a little bit more. And again, side to side, work with your body, just check in. Does it feel okay? You might be able to get all the way down for a full squat. Have a shuffle around. Find what works for you. What you might find is you can get so far and your heels won't come down. And that's okay. You can find something to balance against. So you can put your hands there and sort of use that. See how I'm working my hands over to see if I can release my heels down a little bit. Maybe I can do it for a moment and then maybe I need to come back up. Be very careful with this. It's very strong on the knees. So if you've got dodgy knee joints, don't do it. But you might be able to release down fully. The weight should be more in the heels than in the toes. You should actually be able to pick the toes up. Nice straight back. Make sure you're still able to breathe. Pushing the knees out with the elbows. And then we release onto the floor. Hope, Rudy, I think you might be in the way of my video now. Don't knock it off, please. Rudy, come on. Come here, what's this? So just in case, I think he was going to knock it off then. I'm sorry about that. So we're coming down on the floor to our seated postures. So I like to move the flesh away from my sitting bones. So I'm nice and upright. If you feel like you're going like that already, you can use either a blanket rolled up or a cushion or one of these little blocks. Anything like that. You can sit on it. You don't want to sit right back. You want to sit towards the front edge of it. So you're literally tipping yourself off the front. And then you can be nice and straight and tall. So, staff posture, very good for the knees, very good for strengthening the knees. So nice, straight, tall body, hands come down to the side. Now don't worry if they don't reach all the way down. Some people's arms are shorter. Mine sometimes, I can feel today, they're not quite going to reach. But that doesn't matter. The main point is that we engage the legs. So we draw the kneecaps up, we draw the feet, the heels off the mat if you can. Drawing the toes back towards the shins here. It's a very strong stretch, so you take a couple of breaths, but it's not stretch really. Well, it is a stretch for the hamstrings, but it's really all about engaging and locking the kneecap and getting all these ligaments nice and strong around here. Release. I like to have a little roll out of the knees here. And then we'll do some rolling forward bends. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, let it go like a wave. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, the wave gathers the energy. We gather the energy. We reach our peak and we release. Last one. When we release, breathe in. We're just going to stay here, holding on to wherever feels good, whether that's your feet, your calves, behind your knees, anywhere you can grab hold of. Some people do the 2-finger yogic grip between the big toe, around the big toe. So you breathe in, you bring your belly in towards your spine, and then you release down. Take a few breaths here. And with each exhale, try to let other parts of the body soften. Breathe in to come up. Let's bring the knees out to the side, the feet in together into butterfly. So the feet can be anywhere you like. They can be further out or closer in. If you're bringing them closer in, you might be able to open them like you're reading the pages of a book. and engage. So I'm using my hands against my feet and my elbows to pull myself upright. And then I engage my leg muscles and draw my knees out down to the side. So you can stay here for a few breaths. Or you can try a softer version, feet further away. Breathe in, create that space, that uplifting feeling. And then as you breathe out, softening down until you find that you've hit your edge, your physical edge, your maximum. So you can hold here and try to soften. Or you might be able to get your hands under. So again, it's working with what you've got. And let's just stay here for a few breaths. And then when you've had enough, you breathe in to come all the way up. Bring the knees together. And then drawing the right knee in, keeping the left leg long. So clasp the hands together, draw the right foot in as far as you want it to be. Left arm nice and long. Connect the left elbow with the left knee if you can. If not, then just use your hand against your right knee. Left elbow, right knee, left hand, right knee. And then this right arm comes up. Start to uplift, start to bring the spine up. And then breathing in, and as you breathe out, you plant the hand and you draw this in towards the body and you twist and you turn to look over your right shoulder. And you breathe and you smile and then you release. And we try the other side. Now bear in mind, sides can feel very different. This side might be looser, it might be tighter. Draw the leg in again. I use this to keep myself upright. So you can be here, more slumped. Put my hands against my shin. Start to lift up through my spine. Start to engage my core. Start to pull my belly in towards my spine. And then release my hand nice and tall. If you start to reach out, it gives you more of a space. If you just put your hand out here, there's no way I'm going to connect my right elbow onto my left knee. But if I reach forward and then connect and then turn, lift, turn, plant the hand and twist and breathe. And release slowly back to the front. Okay. Couple things left to do. One of the things we haven't done yet, which is a must for any class I think, is the Sphinx. So we're just going to turn ourselves around, come onto our bellies. And initially you want to check in with yourself by just lying flat on your belly. This in itself is a back bend. You will feel that natural curve accentuated. So check in first, get yourself nice and comfortable, either head on the hands like this, or some people prefer to turn their cheek to the side. But you're just taking a few breaths And you're just putting your mind here, feeling into it. How does it feel already? If you're not feeling much, you can start to come up. So you bring the elbows onto the mat. Now I've got my elbows quite far out in front of me, so I've got less of an incline in my lower back here. And I just check in. I'm not feeling much, but you might already be feeling something. So if you are, stick with that feeling. Stay here, take a few breaths, and just keep breathing and keep being mindful of the area that you're working on. If you're not feeling anything, bring the elbows in. The closer the elbows are in, the higher, the steeper the incline. So my elbows are under my shoulders, hands out in front, nice and wide. Or some people prefer to clasp the hands together in front like this. So again, it's finding the Goldilocks position. Another option is to use a bolster. Have a fairly low position like this. It's almost like you're not doing anything, but if you're feeling the stretch, then you are doing something. If you're not feeling it, you bring the bolster in. Even higher, maybe under the ribs. Use it as a nice comfortable padded position for your elbows, and again sink in to the posture. So we connect with our breath. We feel the belly rising and falling. Expand that awareness to your whole body. So we zoom out to take in the whole body, to make sure that we're not holding anywhere we don't need to hold, so we haven't got tension in our face. This shoulder isn't in a weird position. There's no tweaks, nothing to be concerned about. And then we simply marinate in the posture. Now you can do this for up to 5 minutes. You can start, if you've never held postures for a long time before, start off with a minute and then go up, try 2 minutes and then try 3 minutes. And when you've had enough, you slowly, if you're using a bolster, slowly roll it away. Slowly lower yourself down to the floor. Hands on your head, or if you prefer, turn your cheek, the same side you turn your cheek, wing that leg out to the side, wing the knee out, and you'll get a bit more of a release in the lumbar. Take a few breaths here, let everything soften. And then when you're ready, coming up, come into a child's pose. Child's pose is really good after Sphinx. If you don't like child's pose, come immediately onto your back This, in effect, is child's pose, the other way around. Drawing the knees in and the head on the floor. Now do what feels right for your body. If this doesn't feel right, if you feel like you need some movement, some people like to have a little sway here. Some people have a circle. So it's all about connecting in and listening to the wisdom of your own body. And before we finish, I either offer rolling bridge here, like we did at the start, lifting the hips as you breathe in, letting the hips come back down as you breathe out. Or if you prefer, you can try happy baby, knees out to the side near your armpits. Grab hold of anywhere behind the legs, calves, heels, feet, anywhere. Knees in down towards the floor. And again, you can have a little sway here. It's happy baby, the clue's in the title. So imagine you're a happy baby, not caring the world, you just, what are these? What are these things? And what are these things moving here? So just let go and just enjoy it. Enjoy the innocence for a while. Or if shoulder stand is part of your routine, if you've done it before, lots of times, don't try it now on your own at home, that will not be good. But if you have done it before, you're happy and you're confident, you know what you're doing, bring your feet behind you, arms come right into the side and you're pushing the elbows down into the mat and the forearms. You bring the knees in, and then I like to take my legs over my body first into a kind of plough. And can you see how I'm shuffling from side to side here? What I'm doing is I'm releasing the flesh around my shoulders so I can get even closer into it. So I'm here. You can keep your knees bent if you want. I just find it easier with the weight of the feet further away to get into the position easier. Hands come behind the back. Try and work your elbows in as close as you can. If your elbows are out there, it's going to be much harder. So work your elbows in. Try and get your hands as low as you can. And then lifting up into that final position. And breathing. And you just literally stay here. You will find that your breath is a little bit constricted. And you can do shapes, you can do splits, that way you can do splits, that way. You can bring the soles of the feet together into upside down butterfly. You can bring the knees together, have a little, you can go into plough. Or you can just stay in shoulder stand. But when you've had enough and you want to come down, take the feet either back over or the knees over the head. Hands are here. You start to work the hands, lower the hands down through the back. I let my head lift a little bit here so that I'm rolling out like a little ball, and then I just hug everything back in. Slowly let my neck release back down onto the floor. Now if you have done shoulder stand, at this point you need to arch your neck the other way. So you can put your hands back under the back like so, keep your feet here, and you can literally just lift the upper back up, the elbows are supporting you, and you put your head back onto the floor like so. You're not putting any weight on the head, literally the the elbows are holding you up off the floor. And then slowly curl back the other way. Release. Arms out to the side. One last thing to do before we relax. Recline twist. So feet on the mat, behind the bottom. Take the knees, drop the knees to the right. And then you can either work that top foot on top of the other. If that feels fine for you, you can stay here. If you think you can go further, you can just work the knees closer up towards the right arm. As close up as you want until you find that stretch. So anywhere, the knees can be anywhere along that scale. If you know already that you are quite flexible in the spine, you can start with the feet off the mat and just take the knees straight over to the right. Now with the head, you can have it just facing up to the ceiling, or you can lift it and turn to look towards your left hand, so that the twist through the spine is coming all the way up into the neck vertebrae too. And then once you've found your Goldilocks position, a position that works for you, you simply soften into it. You let everything go. You let the body start to go to sleep. You relax completely. You fall into the breath, into the rise and fall. Each exhale, just allow yourself to soften a little bit more. Nice deep cycles of breathing. Keep focusing in on that rise and fall. Start to let go of doing. Start to give yourself permission to just simply be. And again, this is one of those postures that you can stay in for up to 5 minutes. It's very good for the spine. But of course, stay mindful. If you've not done this posture for as long before, start off with a minute or 2 minutes. Check in after the practice, see how you feel physically and mentally. But check in physically to make sure that you're not going beyond what your body can manage at this time. So breathe in, slowly bring your knees back to center. Have a little sway, have a little hug in. Do what you need to do. You can even have a little momentary rebound. So just allowing the body to just be for a moment before you hug those knees in and go to the other side. Whether you start with the feet on the mat and drop the knees to the left, or feet off the mat and drop the knees to the left. Whether you have the head facing up or you turn the head the opposite direction to the knees for an increased stretch up to the neck. And again, you simply start to let the body go. You give yourself permission to completely release, start to soften. You might even find that you come slightly out of your position, but let your body release. Be aware of your breath rising and falling. Awareness of this moment, the position of your body, points of contact between your body and the floor. The stretch across the abdomen, wringing the organs out. Wringing the organs out like you wring out an old sponge, getting rid of all the dirt and the debris. When you've had enough, you release back to the middle. You do what you need to do, whether it's a hug in, whether it's a sway, whether it's a bit of both. And then you finally release into your final posture, Savasana. Your final relaxation posture. So start getting yourself ready. I'm just going to go and see what the commotion is. It won't be a moment. Okay, somebody's at the door. So hopefully you've found a comfortable position by now. You've got your blanket, maybe an eye pillow, anything that you need to make yourself super comfortable. You can lie flat on your back, you can lie on your side, you can lie on your front. It is your choice. Okay, get yourselves comfortable. And we shall start our final relaxation posture. Resting your awareness back in the belly, back in the rise and fall. To start to follow that wave-like motion that the belly makes as you breathe in and out. Nothing left to do. Nowhere else to be than right here, right now, in this moment. points of contact between your body and the mat. The back of the head, the backs of the shoulders, backs of the arms, the lower back, backs of the legs and the feet. And imagining, visualizing a tiny, tiny dot of light deep within the abdomen. A tiny, tiny speck of healing light. And each time you breathe in, the light starts to grow. Each time you breathe in, the light radiates out in all directions. Each time you breathe in, the light expands and grows and starts to fill every single space within the abdomen. The front of the abdomen, the back of the abdomen, the sides of the abdomen, the top and the bottom of the abdomen. Until every single space within the abdomen is full of healing light. Every cell, every organ, every gland starts to fill with this healing light, expanding out. Until the light bursts forth from the abdomen and starts to stream down both legs, through the hips, down through the thighs, spreading its warmth and its light, wrapping around the knees, healing, restoring. The light continues down through the calves and the shins, pouring down through the ankles, spreading over the heels, through the soles of the feet. even in between each toe. And the light continues to stream out up from the abdomen, up through the ribs, through the chest. The light starts to spread out over the chest, into the shoulders, streaming down both arms, elbows, wrists, until both palms start to fill with the healing light. And the light continues to spread up through the back of the neck, round into the throat, spreading up through the back of the head, through each hair follicle, the light continues to stream upwards through the back of the head, into the crown, and into the soft spot you had as a baby, the fontanelle. And then the light softly spills out from the crown over the forehead, like soft rain. Spilling down over the face, the light starts to release any tension. The light seeps down through the cheeks, allowing the jaw to be heavy as it continues to spread down through the chin and the throat until the whole body is full of healing light. Whole body full of light. As though the whole body was breathing. Start to take deeper breaths in and become aware of your body lying here in this space. Start to bring some gentle movement back to your physical body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Maybe you want to take that full morning body stretch. Maybe you want to hug the knees in and have a sway side to side. Do what feels right for yourself right now. And then making your way up to a seated position. Thinking of something that you're truly grateful for in your life right now. Whether that's just something as simple as being healthy, having a home, anything that comes to mind. Bring the hands together, we rub the palms together in gratitude. We place the hands over the eyes. We let the gratitude and the warmth seep in. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, release the hands down to the heart space. In respect for your own practice, we bow our head and we say Namaste. Thank you everyone. I hope you enjoyed my first video. Take care.